Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Racham, Radash, Barakathum. I want to give double honor to our apostles / elders, which are of GMS, and blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Now, I was asked a question earlier today, a fairly easy question, but at the same time, I think it was very significant toward Salakia. I think it was a good question, you know what I'm saying? Fairly easy question, but a good question. I was asked, particularly by a woman, what can they do within the ministry? It feels like they're not doing enough. Now, as far as a woman, in particular, women, you really don't really have much to do but to keep the law, statutes, commandments to your best abilities and have faith. Like men are required to do a bit more as far as prophesying. And when you read about prophetess, it's not talking about going out there and teaching, you know what I'm saying? Or teaching, because the scriptures tell you what? A woman shouldn't usurp authority over a man. So when you're talking about dealing with people, and say the Most High comes to you in a dream, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Because I had another woman in particular that was, that was trying to debate about, yeah, but women dream dreams. But that don't mean that you should be teaching, because that means the Bible is contradicting itself. If you're willing to believe that the Bible is contradicting itself just so you can get that authority to teach a man, then why even believe that the Lord is true indeed? You know what I'm saying? Which the Lord is true. The Lord is consistent. He's very consistent. That's one of the main characteristics that no man can match, is that the Lord is very consistent. Not very consistent, he's perfectly consistent in the things that he do and he say. So when the Lord tells you to not usurp authority over man, when you dream dreams, that means you can't go and tell a man what he should and shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And you can't make that, it's basically a cop-out and an excuse for you want to do that. But that's just a different subject matter for a different time. The point was, what should you do toward the ministry? And I want to address men and women, you know what I'm saying, on this subject matter. For women, like I said, I already got the deal for it. But when you're talking about prophetess on the women's part, a prophetess was women that basically ministered unto men. And the word minister means to serve. All right, serve food, make garments, house, you know what I'm saying, lodge, and things like that. Women that's a woman being a prophetess. A prophetess means to speak before, but that's for a prophet. But a prophetess is a woman that assists the prophets, basically. You know what I'm saying? Just because the word you're a waitress don't mean that you're actually waiting. You know what I'm saying? You're a person that's waiting upon somebody, or actress, you know what I'm saying? You're basically, the word S is basically you're partaking into it. So if you're a prophetess, you're basically a woman that's assisting prophets. Okay. Now as far as men, the man has the same job. It's to he has the same job as far as being a minister, but it's more details. When we minister, we're serving by teaching, you know what I'm saying? We also serve by feeding, not feeding random people and handing out sandwiches. When brothers come and lodge with us, we take care of them, all right? So I want to get this while it's on the spirit. Matthews chapter 19, verse 27. Says, "Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee." Because sometimes when you get in this ministry, you think that you got to keep up with the Joneses, or you're missing out. You're not doing your duty as a man, or you're not doing your duty as a woman. At the end of the day, we have forsaken all. We have forsaken that life of going to college and making a certain amount of money, attending to our families, like going on trips and dressing up together and doing all that, all that extra stuff. There's nothing wrong with it, but we have forsaken that. We have forsaken opening up business and being entrepreneurs and really indulging in that atmosphere. We have forsaken, really putting all our energy into the world. You know what I'm saying? A marriage, that's worldly. Children, that's worldly. Unless you're being spiritual towards that element. But at the end of the day, going to theme parks and going out to dinner, you know what I'm saying? That's not a spiritual thing, that's a worldly thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing wrong with it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this place is going to be destroyed, so it's a vain act on top of that, But we're forsaking everything. We're making our bodies a living sacrifice. So you're going to feel left out. You're going to feel like you're losing out. But that's why the scriptures say you lay your treasures up in heaven. So if you wonder what your duty is to basically afflict yourself here and invest in into heaven, okay? It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And what is there forsaken? They're forsaking their families. Peter had a family. All of the I can't say all of them, but everybody left something, man. You know what I'm saying? And you hear about scriptures saying that they went to their sister's house or their mother's house or things like that. Some say that they couldn't come because they had a family, things like that. These prophets, these disciples, they had things in the world that they left and they have forsaken. Okay? You're not going to come into this ministry and keep everything with you and then be able to deal with it on the same level and do the ministry at the same time. The scriptures say you can't serve two masters, man. You can't be in the world and be fully invested in the world and be fully invested in the Most High. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't have a family? Yeah, it's okay you have a family, but you shouldn't be like pushing all your energy into having one. You know what I'm saying? If you get one, you maintain it, but all your energy should be going into the ministry of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay? Man and woman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're gonna feel like you're losing out. Yeah, you're gonna feel like the black sheep, Yeah, you're gonna feel like you're throwing your life away at times. But that's when you get carnal. That's basically a carnal thought. Because again, we're investing ourselves into the kingdom of heaven, okay? It says, verse 28, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, right, in the regeneration, basically, when the regeneration is talking about to regenerate is to come back, all right, to generate is to basically come. Salaki, I wish I had my phone. I don't want to wing it, but I got it on my tip of my tongue, but I don't want to wing it. So Salakia, if the Akim can bring that definition up to get it correct, I really want to get that correct. So I put it on the comment board. Another brother can put it on the comment board. But the regeneration is similar to reincarnation, but it's just basically to come back. Okay. Reincarnate means to come back in the flesh. Regenerate, it basically means to come back also, okay? But it says, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So the 12 disciples are getting what? The reward in the kingdom of heaven. They laid their treasures up in heaven, and then when it's time to reap the rewards, when the Lord sits on the throne, he's going to grant them with power in the kingdom of heaven, which is far beyond missing out on a cookout or a birthday party or going to college and things like that. It's way more that you're investing in by missing out on something, like the scriptures say, enjoying the pleasures of sin for a season. You know what I'm saying? This is just a short period of time that we're dealing with, that we feel like we're missing out, you know what I'm saying? Or we feel like we're not doing enough because we're not doing enough in the world for our families or for the ministry, you know what I'm saying? The only thing you do for the ministry is the Lord requires you to do. As a woman, you shouldn't be doing nothing past that, and as men, we shouldn't do nothing past that. Not handing out sandwiches to random people and shit like that. Nah, man, we out here to teach the gospel, man. I hand the sandwich out to the Akim, you know. The brother's hungry, I'ma feed him, you know. But I'm not feeding no nigga, you know what I'm saying? We're not in that time. It says, verse 29 says, everyone that hath forsaken house, or brethren, or sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. So this is a cut to people who think that when you go into the kingdom of heaven, that we just gonna go, so-called, go back to one wife. Because I had somebody tell me, yeah, man, the Lord basically made it like that with the birth pains and the woman marrying single like that because of the sin that they did in that time. No, man, you go in the kingdom of heaven, the Lord say gonna give you 100-fold of houses, you know what I'm saying, and of wives. Okay, if you forsake these things, he's gonna give you that. He's gonna give that to a woman. He's not gonna give you multiple men, because that's adultery. That's clearly written in the laws. There's no law that says that you can't have more than one wife. It's a suggestion, especially to the bishops, which are the head, you know, the leaders of the ministry. Okay. Now, when we get into the kingdom of heaven, there's not going to be a purpose for preaching, since the law is going to be written in our inward parts. Now, we will govern the world, you know what I'm saying, but there's not going to be a requirement for that. So we're not going to need an office or to be studious to that point that we're going to be obligated with the ministry that we can't have multiple wives. Okay. So basically, we're going to have multiple wives in the kingdom of heaven, like it or not. But women, there's a clear rule that you shouldn't be messing with other men, multiple men. Okay. It says everyone that have forsaken houses, you know what I'm saying. You're not trying to build and build a patio, and you're working doubles to build this patio and all this shit, or brethren or sisters, you know what I'm saying. You're missing out on graduations, you're missing out on proms, you know, you're missing out on these things, all right? Or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. But it says, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So if you're missing out now, or you're lacking now, then when it's time for the kingdom of heaven, you're gonna have it in abundance. And the people that are rejecting and rebelling against the Most High now, for the world, for their family, for their kids, and for all these things, then when they get into the kingdom of heaven, they're not gonna inherit as much as the ones that have. You know what I'm saying? In the same way, and people say, well, as long as I get into the kingdom of heaven. But look, man, our reality is, just like we feel some type of way about missing out, don't you think they're gonna feel some type of way about, you know what I'm saying, lacking in the kingdom of heaven? When it's a perfect time to have riches and everything, and you don't have as much as somebody else, and the people who forsaken all have it in abundance, and you have, but you don't have as much as them, you don't think you're gonna feel, you know, the same way we feel at a point? You know, you got to think about that. You know, that shit sound good until you get into the kingdom of heaven. You watching people enjoy themselves, so to speak. All right, so I want to get this one in St. John 21:15. It says, so then they had so when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my lambs. So this one I should have got first, because our duty, if you want to do anything within this ministry, you want to feed the sheep. What the brothers are doing right behind me, they're feeding the flock. Whether they're here, whether they forbear, we're out there feeding the sheep. We're not feeding them with fucking sandwiches, turkey, whatever kind of sandwich you want to create, ham, fucking roast beef or whatever. We're not feeding nobody no fucking Sunday dinners and all that. We're feeding them with something that's worth, that has a worth to it, which is the gospel. Because this gospel is given as a gift by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the mysteries, to be able to break these scriptures down and we're freely given as we freely receive to grow the ministry. Because when shit hits the fan in the time of Jacob's trouble, Salakia, in the time of Jacob's trouble coming to full fruition, you giving the ham sandwich or that turkey sandwich, whatever you gave them that's carnal, it ain't gonna be worth a goddamn, man. You know, anything that you invest in this world can be easily destroyed or taken away. But when you instill in somebody righteousness in the way of the Most High, when the time of Jacob's trouble comes, they will be protected. Basically, we're giving them, we're providing, we're a hub for the oil. You know what I'm saying? We're an oil shop for the wise virgins. You know what I'm saying? Providing them with the information that they need for the time of salvation, man. Okay? Because salvation it's not a easy 1, 2, 3 step. Like you're building when you buy like a dresser or something, or a bed, and it's like these easy ass steps where you don't really have to look at the manual, you can wing it. It ain't like that getting into the kingdom of heaven, man. There's gonna be a lot of things you can endure. I mean, you have to endure that you're not gonna be prepared for, unless you read and you got the Holy Spirit and you know how to pray and you know what to pray for. Okay, this is not just an on switch to righteousness, man. All right, thinking that, oh yeah, longer I could. A lot of you Christians think that you could bullshit all day. You could bullshit right now, and then when Jacob's trouble come on, you can just turn it on and everything will work out for you. That's not the case. You know, just like Jake don't like to study or do their homework, and then when test time comes, they try to flip through the pages and then try to take the test. It don't work like that with the Most High. If you haven't invested properly, you're not going to come out on top. That's just period. There's no loopholes. There's no shortcuts. The scripture said if a man come in some other way, he's a thief and a robber. Okay? It says, verse 16 says, he said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, feed my sheep. He says, verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hand, and another shall gird thee and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. So basically the Lord's saying that when he's gone, these people that you're growing, we the ones that Peter's reaching out to, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Not like he need our help, but in a sense he does. In a sense, of course, Yahushua, the Most High say, he can say he raised up stones to worship him. But in a sense, we're the ones that's extending a hand and carrying that baton on. Why? Because Peter fed the sheep. Yahushua fed the disciples fed the flock turning to us who we are today, based off them feeding the sheep. So it's very important. The main thing that any person in the ministry could do is feed the flock. Now women, you feed the flock literally. You know, you feed them with clothes, you feed them with housing, you feed them with food. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean they come into your house and you're teaching them. Because why? The scriptures say don't do that. You can't manipulate it and make it so. You don't need to be a billionaire to do this. Whatever the Most High provides you in your lot, you do that. And as for the men, we're supposed to gather up our oil and go out there and set up our oil shop and do our ministry. You know what I'm saying? And do our work and feed the flock. Okay? And feed them with the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of the scriptures. This word is everlasting water. You know, this word is rivers of living water. This word is gold. This word is bread. You know what I'm saying? This word is wine. This word is oil. All this. And we're feeding the people as we freely receive, we will freely give. So with that being said, I want to say call halal to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, double honor to our apostles who are of GMS, and our elders who rule well, who are of GMS. And blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching truth and sincerity, and blessed salutations to you men and women out there enduring truth and sincerity. A sincere Ahabathum, Zaquayim, Shalom.